Hey there, Morbid Maniacs! It's time for another spooky video. And for tonight's spooky video, I'm going to be telling you guys another little creepypasta kind of story that I wrote myself based off of a paranormal experience that I had when I was a kid, known as the Vanishing Lady in White. I always loved going for car rides at night and was always super intrigued by spooky stories. On a road near my home, there was a legend of a vanishing lady in white. I heard this story for years growing up. Legend has it that if you travel on this road late at night, you will be met with the figure of a woman in a white dress. Story states this woman was waiting for her lover to meet her here when she was struck by a drunk driver, unaliving her instantly. It's believed that she was pregnant at the time and was going to surprise her boyfriend with the news. Her stomach being slashed open upon impact and her baby being thrown across the road. It was very popular in my little town. Being that nearly every state has a vanishing hitchhiker, I did not believe this story and was very skeptical. This road was a road I had taken on many nights, as it was the road that led to my childhood home. However, there was an urge I had in me to see if the legend had some sort of truth to it. So on a misty, rainy summer night, I went out with my dad to go legend tripping. It was past midnight and the night of a full moon, to make things even spookier. The road was maybe 5 minutes from my house to beat it all. I really wanted to see a ghost, but I did not have high hopes. I hopped in the car, turned the windshield wipers on, and got going. The road leading up to this haunted road was very eerie, accompanied by creepy sprawling trees on either side of it. It was pitch dark and you could barely see the lines on the road in front of you. Pouring down of the rain and the fog did not help. We finally reached the area. Being that it was so late, there was barely any traffic on the road, so my dad made a stop. I looked, but was very disappointed to see that there was nothing there. My dad asked if I wanted to get out and investigate while he parked somewhere. I shrugged my shoulders, as I feel I had gotten all the proof that I needed that this was nothing more than a hoax. So we continued driving. I pretty much forgot about the whole ordeal. After getting to a certain point, my dad would turn around and we would head back home. When we cornered the overgrown, supposedly haunted stretch of road, my dad had noticed something off in the distance. Getting closer to the object, he realized it was a figure. Not just any figure, but a woman who looked like she was carrying a child and who was also wearing white. I didn't notice it at first until my dad blurted out, "There's someone standing back there." Passing the point he had seen the figure, I quickly whipped my head around and seen someone standing there. The figure was standing on the same side of the road we were on, and it was in a patch of overgrown weeds. What made it even creepier was that this woman had an otherworldly glow to her, thing that I did not realize at first upon seeing her. We kept driving. The spooky loving soul in me suddenly chimed in, and I asked my dad if we could turn around to see if the woman was still there. At first I tried to come up with some sort of rational explanation, but it just made no sense whatsoever. Why would anyone be standing on the side of the road at almost 1 in the morning in overgrown weeds? Not to mention, it was pouring down rain and it was very dangerous to be standing there in the middle of the night. There was nothing I could come up with. My dad finally agreed and turned around, heading back in the direction of the haunted road. We turned the sharp curve, reaching the area when out of nowhere, and before he even had time to step on the brakes, there was a pregnant woman standing in the middle of the road. My dad nearly hit her. He swerved and lost control of the car. We thankfully did not hit anything, but we were turned in a circle and stopping on the other side of the road, panicked and trying to come to terms with what had just happened. My dad quickly pulled off to safety and put his hazard lights on. We asked each other if we were okay. By some crazy miracle, we both were. I quickly unfastened my seatbelt and got out of the car, my dad following me. We looked around. The overgrown weeds, the road, the woods nearby. There was no sign of anyone, anywhere. I finally had the proof I needed that this was not just an urban legend, made up to tell around campfires, but something that had taken place many years ago. I was overwhelmed with sadness as well as fear, as we had almost hit a ghost. My dad and me both got back into the car and drove back home. We were so shaken up from what had happened that we barely slept a wink that night. From that point on, I hoped to see the vanishing woman in white again, but she never showed herself. I believed that because I was hopeful of seeing her and being so opened to the paranormal, that she decided to make her presence known to me. I continue to share her story in hopes that the more people who know, that she will somehow be able to find peace. So there is my little creepypasta story. What do you guys think? And yes, this was based off of a real paranormal experience that I had. Of course, I kind of like, you know, tweaked it to turn it into a creepypasta, but I have told that story several times on my channel before. We were going for a ride. It was me, my mom, and my dad. And we got to this one little part of the road where the weeds were overgrown. It was raining, it was really late, and there was a figure standing on the side of the road, and both my mom and my dad had shouted out, "Hey, there's somebody standing back there." And I turned my head around, and there indeed was someone standing there, and they kind of had this odd glow to them. They were standing really still, and they were in white. So we got like halfway down the road and I was like, turn around, I want to see if it's still there, because you guys know me, I'm crazy. So my dad turned around, we came back, and there was nobody there. I believe with all of my heart that that was some form of a ghost or some form of like a vanishing hitchhiker. I'm not really sure, but that was probably one of my favorite paranormal experiences I've ever had. And I've had quite a few. And my mom also used to tell me this story of like a really long time ago, kind of close to that area, the wooded area before you get to my house. There was a young girl who was pregnant who was walking on the side of the road, and she was walking in the middle of the night, so it was really dark. No one could see her, and this car was flying up through there. I don't know if it was a drunk driver or if they just didn't see her on the side of the road, and they plowed right into her, and unfortunately she had died on impact. Her baby was thrown out of her stomach. This was a story my mom used to tell me. I don't know if it was true. That's kind of where I got that little part to put into the story. Really sad either way, and I've always kind of thought about not really investigating the area because there are like houses there and I don't want to like go onto someone's property. At least like driving past it and making like, you know, some sort of video if you guys were ever interested in that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you'd like to see me do more little creepypastas that I've wrote myself, or just creepypastas in general. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big ol' thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Become a morbid maniac. Also be sure to hit that bell notification, that way you get notified every single time I upload a new video. And head on over to that second channel, which is Mel Vlogs, where you will find all of my vlogs and all of my ASMR content. And I love you guys so much, and I will see ya in my next one.